Hello and welcome to the Dits on Wrestling podcast. I am Dits and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host Anthony. How you doing, buddy?
I guess I'm okay. I mean, I could be better. Could be worse though.
Could be worse. Could be better.
But I'm all
Has it
right.
been?
So,
Has it been one of those weeks?
yeah, it's been busy. I had to travel at the back end of this week. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. Got to be on this stupid show to talk about something I don't even like, which is wrestling. I hate it. But no, I'm excited. Being on here always gives me joy. So I'm excited to be here, although sleepy and tired, as I'm sure you are. You had a busy day before we recorded as well. You had a lot of man stuff you were doing.
Real man stuff.
Yeah. And then you took some traffic lights from America and took that green, stoplight sign behind us and put it up behind you and set it up for this ability to record. Pretty cool.
Well, they flash red when you're recording, which doesn't make any sense to me because you're on the move. So I figured
That was a nice counter. Well done.
green.
Well done. I also said green stoplight, which isn't a thing, but I mean, I figured European, you guys don't know the difference, so it wouldn't matter.
Ooh, unbelievable.
Shade. Freedom. Let freedom ring.
Free.
Ooh,
I
it's not.
will. Cause folk like you and me.
Yikes. Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Done.
Do you want to hear some good news?
Define good.
Well, it's good for me, not for
Oh,
you.
sure, so sure, I guess.
I was the victor of Draft That last week.
Yeah, but that just proves to me that whoever votes, listen, no disrespect to each their own. My card was so much better than yours. I also didn't somehow didn't see the tweet that came out for the poll opportunity. I saw the initial tweet that you always put out before you end up putting the poll up. So it's funny how that poll aspect didn't reach me so that I could, do some things with it. But, to each his own.
I'll take the win. I'll take the dub.
My card was so much better. I just don't see. But to each his own, man.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Subjective.
Way better.
Mine.
Subjective. So I'm sure you and the 17 accounts that you created to vote for. But yeah, I'm sure there's some tomfoolery there. I demand a recount.
Headlock, I am not.
Oh,
Sizzle, sizzle.
Shit.
Sizzle, sizzle.
Shit.
We still owe them a rematch too. Well, they owe no. Do we owe them or do they owe us? We beat them, didn't we?
They wanted a rematch, which we do want to do. We just haven't been able to fit it in. But yes, they do want a rematch after we had them on and did beat them after they did legitimately try and cheat votes to beat us in the poll.
Unbelievable.
Which I'm sure you definitely haven't done this time.
I did not.
Mm.
I did not. I actually forgot about that poll until today. I was like, oh, I wonder who won. This guy.
Interesting.
So,
how convenient.
Convenience.
For a poll I never saw that went up that you somehow won. Interesting.
I somehow won through obvious
nefarious means.
Either way, the record books show that this guy wins.
Not really.
But we're not doing Draft That this week.
No, I'm leaving.
I'm done. That's it. The end is here. Now we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. We do have a couple of things that we're going to talk about. And potentially we're going to talk about something as it happens because we're recording this during AEW Revolution, so we're not going to be talking about it on the show today per se. However, if I see this news drop, because I have my Twitter feed open right now, if I see the news drop of who this surprise is, we'll briefly talk about that
Brock
at the end
Lesnar.
of the episode. Can you imagine?
That would be wild. I mean, I really don't think there's any chance in hell, but the internet would break if that would happen.
I mean, I still think it's Big Show.
Yeah, I just think it's. I don't think it's going to be a person as much as my prediction isn't so much for a person as I just think it's going to be underwhelming. Like whoever it is, I just think it's going to be like someone. I do think it's going to be either Big Show or it's going to be someone we don't care about, or it's just going to be like Earl Hebner, and you're just going to be like, what? Like just not something just that's not. Oh, like I feel like people are expecting something to break the internet. I don't think we're going to get that, but I could be wrong.
Well, Jim Ross is currently trending.
Yeah, because his voice is super hoarse and he sounds terrible, I guess.
So he could be making his in-ring debut.
I mean, that would be super interesting, I guess. I mean, I'd like to just see what would happen to his cowboy hat if he tried to move around. Fair enough. No disrespect to good old JR.
Jim Ross.
Makes
God.
Makes a mean barbecue, I hear.
I would like to try that barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I haven't.
Not gonna lie.
I should. He looks like he knows something.
Yeah, so today...
Mm.
So we potentially could be talking about that. I think we will, actually. When did that show start? 2 hours ago?
Yes.
7 o'clock start for you?
Yes.
So I'd say, to be fair, as we're wrapping this episode, that news will likely have just dropped. I'd imagine. So yeah, we'll talk about it. But officially, what we're talking about this week, well, you've got your question of the week. Because
started at 8.
Think of a question.
Sorry, it started at 8.
Started at 8, so...
It's probably got another 40 minutes or so to an hour.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely talk about it then.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got the question of the week because I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah, because you were a slacker.
I am slacker. I didn't know we were recording today. That's actually how bad it is. Because it was we usually record on Saturday. We record on Sunday, and Saturday obviously passed. I was like, oh, we've already done it. No, we have not.
Has not happened.
Who benefits more from turns, heels or faces? Favorite celeb cameos in wrestling, seeing as that's all the rage at the moment. And finally, a little bit of talk on Bobby Lashley.
Who?
He had a big week. He may have won something. No big deal. No biggie.
Hadn't heard.
Hadn't heard. Well, nobody watches Raw, so...
Yeah, that's true. No. I mean, there's probably more eyes on it ever since that crap artist Drew McIntyre lost the belt.
It's funny you should say that, because they actually maintained a pretty damn good viewership this week. From last week. There was barely a drop. Renee is at AEW Revolution right now.
Oh, in the crowd?
Well, she had a picture with Brandy. They have their pregnancy bumps together.
That's cool. Learn to teach the kids how to bump early.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice.
Future wrestlers.
They probably are.
Probably.
I
mean, that's got to be tough, though. That's like a tough legacy and like lineage to follow.
The Rhodes one, especially.
Actually, well, I wonder. Yeah, but then again, like everybody, I don't know. Are there other? Do Cody and Dustin have other siblings besides them too?
I don't think so.
Like, is there like a Jeff Rhodes?
Because they're only half brothers, aren't they?
Oh yeah, I think they are. I feel like maybe there's more. Yeah, there's like Jeff Rhodes, and he's like an accountant, and then like Mark Rhodes, and he's like an elementary school like gym teacher.
I'm actually gonna look that up after this. I'm actually curious to see what siblings they have.
I feel like they gotta have more. Maybe not.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. At least sisters. We'll see.
Oh, he does. He has 4 children, including Dustin and Cody.
Oh. And the fact that we haven't heard of the others suggests that they are not in the game.
No, they're just regular old folk, I would imagine. I think one of them's a daughter. We've gone down a rabbit hole. I don't want to get off track. This podcast is about Dusty Rhodes' kids.
Yeah. That's the first 10 minutes sorted. Done. In the bag. But you do have a question for me this week.
I do.
Because I was lazy and didn't come up with one. So, answer question of the week. Fire away.
My question that, again, I came up with on the fly because you are lazy and terrible.
Yeah.
As expected.
In my defense, the question I was going to ask, I turned into a topic.
No defense. Still lazy. So, my question for you is, it could be for their character or just how bad you might think they are, or because they beat your favorite wrestler or did some kind of something, or it could be things outside of wrestling in real life, but let's kind of keep that separate. My question for you is, who is your most hated wrestler of all time? Who do you It could be for whatever reason. Who comes on the screen and you're just like, oh, sucks. And it makes you want to change the channel, or you haven't enjoyed any of their matches, or they are a part of something that just makes you super upset. For me, it's tough. I've got like different categories for me personally. Like for instance, one like much like Shawn Michaels is like arguably my most hated wrestler. I think he's one of the best of all time, but I'm a huge Bret Hart guy. So the
Yeah.
Montreal Screwjob combined with like everything else I know about Shawn at that time and how much of a prick he was, like I hate him. But I think he's one of the best of all time and he's amazing, but I hate him. He's up there for me. It'd be tough for me to separate it, but yeah, I've got
I've got two.
Ooh, okay.
One older generation, one current generation.
Okay. All right.
So I'll go old first. Hulk Hogan.
Oh, nice.
I can't stand him.
Wow, I like it.
Cannot stand. And it's so weird. I've talked about this a couple of times, through my time podcasting and whatever.
You do a podcast?
Apparently so.
I didn't know that.
He was the first person I watched in the realm of wrestling. He was my in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very strange that I have no positive feelings towards that man whatsoever. And this is, bear in mind, this is all based away from his personal life, which makes him even more of a shitty person. But
a little bit.
Like, it's just he bores me. I think he's a bell end. He doesn't appeal to me in any way, shape, or form. When I did my flashback, Dits versus Josh podcast, where we were going through the Ruthless Aggression era of SmackDown versus Raw, and we were having to watch him every single week. I had SmackDown, so I had the joy of seeing him every single week, and then seeing him at Backlash beating Triple H for the undisputed title. Just, oh god, it was painful, and it was weird as well at that point because he was actually younger at that point than Jericho is now, which blew my mind. That blew my mind when I saw that.
That's a fun fact.
He looked 80.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Jericho doesn't look young, but
no.
Hulk Hogan is like next level old.
Yeah, Hogan's got a lot of wear and tear on those tires.
Yeah, but yeah, I just can't stand him. I've got nothing good to say about that guy. And current is Nia Jax. I
like that. Same boat.
we joke about it on here all the time about Nia Jax being terrible, but I just think she's just a dick. I don't know whether she's just living the gimmick or whatever, but she hits a botch, and it's not like it could really do some damage, these botches that she does. And I know people jump, like, even the slightest little thing, Nia Jax, like,
yeah,
I'm not one of those people. Like, if it's a legit fucking like botch, like she deserves the criticism, but she goes, that's her response. Literally that, a picture that does that.
There's been so many with that. Even like the one for Becky turns out to be awesome for Becky, but like, how do you screw up that hard and punch Becky in the face and like break her face, and then you almost kill Kyrie, almost kill Charlotte Flair? And I'm not using like kill as like even an exaggeration. Like, you almost snapped Kyrie's neck because of how you threw her against the buckle. Charlotte's shoulder and her neck. There's just, yeah, I'm in the same boat. Those are two good ones.
Yeah. And just by the way, technical stuff going on there. Your camera video just went boom, really, really wide. So I've just fixed that on the fly because I'm a pro.
Interesting. I saw you tinkering away there. I figured you were just trying to skew some more votes for the draft that episode. Yeah, put some more things in there for yourself. Pat yourself on the back. I'm sure all your kids and your wife have accounts that you used to vote for that, but whatever. I'm not bitter. I'm not jealous. I mean, my card was better. I know it. You know it, but it's fine. Whatever. Fine.
Obviously, you go from agreeing with my picks to straight back to bitterness again. You just can't.
Not bitterness, just truth, I think. Just feelings. Yeah, but no, those are good. I don't think I hate Hulk Hogan. I definitely don't like him. I've never found him entertaining whatsoever. Even as a little kid, I thought he was just the most... I never got it. Even as like a 3-year-old watching early 90s and like late 80s VHS tapes of WWF, I was just like, this guy? What? Like, I never got it. He never did anything for me. And then, yeah, Nia, I just can't stand... I don't like things... And I think the Nia thing, yeah, it comes from like who... I guess like how she goes with it, but I guess maybe that's the direction they give her, or what she's decided to do with it. I just don't. I hate that. I think we all hate it. Like there's certain characters in movies and shows that are dedicated to it, like the boss's nephew or the boss's kid that like shouldn't have a job at the place but has it because he's like related to the boss and they're such a prick and they're terrible. That's like Nia Jax to me. Like she's related to The Rock and some other good wrestlers and she's got the lineage, but she's just bad. And I don't. And I feel bad publicly criticizing someone on like their work, but also like it just seems like she makes no attempt to get better, and it's just so bad. And I find her awful in the ring. Like her leg drops are terrible. Everything is just bad, and she's just like it. Also, too, again, maybe she's to your point, she's like rolling with it and going with it, but she just seems like a giant troll. Her care, like as a person, like she's just trolling everyone with what she does in the ring, and online, and I just don't find any redeeming qualities in her whatsoever. And who knows, maybe if like we met her as a person, she might be the nicest lady in the world, and maybe it's complete misinterpretation on our part, which might be fair. But yeah, as of right now, I can't stand her. Like it's just I find nothing redeeming about her whatsoever. It's just really bleh. Her legit whatever she's for me like right now, like if she's on TV I'm like, all right, cool, channel change, I don't have to go back until like another 10 minutes from now. I'm out on her forever.
Yeah, I mean, with Raw, I tend to watch the full SmackDown as a whole, but with Raw, I always fast forward through three quarters of a match, catch the ending. Promos, I watch the whole thing because it's mostly story based. But not yet, Nia, straight through. Any tag title matches, tag team matches, anything she's involved with, gone.
And I feel like she even rubbed off on Shayna. Now we got Shayna kicking Asuka in the face and breaking teeth. Shayna went to the Nia school for wrestling and stiff shots. She really knocked her tooth out hard. I didn't realize her tooth came out. I saw her get kicked in the face, but I didn't realize. And then I saw the slow-mo on Raw or whatever. Her tooth actually, that's rough, bro.
I think Baszler's style is a bit stiff, though, isn't it? So
yeah, but not like, but she's
not like that.
Yeah,
like,
she's also trained from like the UFC side of things. Like, so she's good at like making. She knows how to throw a punch versus like make it look like she's throwing a punch. Same thing with her kicks and her shots. So for her to like miss that bad, I think that's also another reminder for all the people who like love to like make fun of wrestling. Like these dudes are pros, and if you're off by the slightest calculation in a punch or a kick or a suplex or a pile driver or whatever, it goes from just being like, oh, wrestling to like a broken tooth or a broken nose or a broken neck or a broken back. Like it's like everything that these guys do, even the most simplest of things like kicks and punches, like it's a craft and it's an art, and that's a good example of how things can easily go wrong. And it's probably not her fault, but I blame Nia. I blame her.
It's an easy thing to
do.
Just
low-hanging fruit at this point.
To do. Yeah. I think she actually fits into this a little bit.
Segue.
In a way. Nice little segue. Who benefits more from an alignment turn, a heel or a face? And the reason I'm bringing this up this week, Apollo Crews has just turned heel. So he's gone from happy, smiley, go lucky Apollo Crews that just kind of is there to Nigerian royalty, complete with accent.
Which he actually is, apparently. Like he's really Nigerian, and I guess that's his actual accent, or like it goes in and out for him, so it's not fake. Although some people are saying like he's layering on a little more, but it's not completely not authentic. He is actually Nigerian royalty, I believe.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's actually, from what I've read on Reddit and social media, I guess he is like actually of like Nigerian descent. Maybe not the royalty part, but I know he's like Nigerian descent. Like that's his actual like thing.
See, I thought they Kofi'd him and just went, there you go.
No. Some people are saying like there's a couple people who are saying that's how he speaks, and then a couple people who are Nigerian who I've seen say it seems like some of his words he's trying to emphasize too much to really drive it home. But no, it's not like a fake, Yeah, where like Kofi is Jamaican, but he's really from like Boston, Massachusetts. No, Apollo Crews is actually Nigerian. And I think that's
Ah,
also,
okay.
this will come into my answer later, but I think that's also part of why, like I saw the clip of his promo on SmackDown against Big E, challenging him and everything like that. And I thought it was fantastic. And I think the reason it was fantastic is because it's authentic. Like he's not so much playing a character as he is like playing himself, drawing from real life anecdotes and personal things, and then turning that into a character, as we tend to see with a lot of people. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin isn't really a character. That's Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Like he's walking down the streets of Victoria, Texas, catching beers, cracking them open, and then Stone Cold stunning anybody he wants to at any point in the street.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
But yeah, but to you as well. I think it's been a good little turn for him. It does come across as more authentic than what he was giving out prior, because he was very bland with like it was just a generic wrestling promo. If you were gonna look up generic wrestling promo in the dictionary, boom, Apollo Crews. So this is nice and fresh. It's something a little bit different. And of course, he was the face of face. Is like you couldn't get any more babyface than him.
Generic of faces.
And now to do this U-turn, it's worked for him. People are interested. At the very least, people are talking about it. And hell, we're talking about it now. So it's getting out there. And that's just one example. And that's the reason why I brought it up today. But for me personally, I feel. I don't know if I'm biased, because I've always preferred heels than I do faces.
Agreed.
So if somebody turns, I mean, well, I say that the biggest one you can think of right now, Roman Reigns. How effective has that heel turn been? Like it is still my favorite thing in wrestling right now, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. It's been spectacularly done. And that is another good example of a good heel turn. But if Roman at some point, hopefully no time soon, but if Roman was to turn face again, so say we get crowds back, people, because people do dig it. People are really liking this Roman Reigns stuff.
As they should.
As they should. And you get to that point where Vince kind of goes, oh, they're starting to like Reigns again. Let's pull that babyface trigger. It just wouldn't be anywhere near as effective. And I'm trying to think of a really good babyface. I mean, Stone Cold was a pretty damn good babyface turn with the double turn with Brett. So that's a good example of a babyface turn working well. But I can't honestly think of that many. The Rock, actually. The Rock was another good one. But yeah, I can't really think of any big face, especially recently.
Every face turn is usually actually, and before we dive into that, yeah, Apollo Crews is in fact Nigerian. His father is of Nigerian, like legit descent, so he's actually legitimately authentically Nigerian. Face turns, I think, are usually more slow building and organic. It's like they're usually, because they're different, I think. Face turns, aside from the Stone Cold Steve Austin one, really, I think, or no, I'm sorry, face turns are, the heel is doing so awesome and getting so much like cheering from the crowd that they're like, okay, we got to turn this guy face because everybody's just cheering for him anyway. The Austin example is a good example of that, microcosm of that. Like he was doing things that were heelish, but everybody just connected with it and thought it was awesome. So it was like, okay, we have to make this guy a face. Heel turns are usually done because the face character has gotten stale and you need to do something different. Again, a la the Roman Reigns angle. I also think certain characters or certain wrestlers fit certain characters better. How often have we've said it on this pod, everyone and their mother has said it for the past several years, Roman Reigns would be better as a heel. Let's give him a tryout as a heel. He was better as like an arrogant prick type heel in FCW. He has heelish features and characteristics. It's easier for him to deliver some heel promos than it is babyface promos. He just wasn't connecting, blah, blah, blah. I think certain guys are built for certain characters. Not everybody's a Chris Jericho where you can like just week to week go back and forth from a heel to a face and you can do them both because you're phenomenal at it. I think certain guys are made for certain things. And again, I think they're different. Like heel turns are coming because someone's stale. Hulk Hogan, the NWO is like my favorite thing ever. That run, I'm more WWF, and I mean WWF, I don't mean WWE. They're different to me. I am more WWF than I am WCW, but I do love WCW. And that whole NWO run from the time Scott Hall first landed in WCW all the way up until Sting versus Hogan at Starrcade, because everything went downhill after that, after they screwed that matchup so bad. Oh, I can't even want to talk about it because I'm going to get super sidetracked and get upset. But that all stemmed from the greatest heel turn in the history of wrestling, because Hulk Hogan, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, cookie cutter babyface, all of a sudden turned heel, and it was fantastic. And certain guys are made for it than others. I don't know what's better. I know to your point, I like heel turns much more than I like face turns because I like heels. But also there's something to be said for guys who turn from heel to face. Even think he didn't do full face turn really at all. He stuck to the heel thing. But think about when Seth Rollins came back from injury. That huge pop that he got back upon his return. And I was like, oh yeah, and then he went right back to being a dick, and everybody's like, okay, no, like he's still a jerk, he's still a heel, but everybody was cheering for him. Everybody wanted him to turn face, and so it's a tough thing. I think if you're going to carry a company and be like, no pun intended, the face of the company, faces benefit more because it's easier to do all the cool stuff that comes from being a face, whether it's the appearances on TV or the charitable work or stuff in movies. Like, it's easier to market this character that's a good guy versus marketing someone as a bad guy. So I think, and again, at the end of the day, most of the time, WrestleMania, big pay-per-views, all these storylines, majority of the time, the bad guy gets their comeuppance in the end. The good guy comes out on top. So I think being a face is more beneficial in the long run for most wrestlers than being a heel. But I think heel turns are better in terms of revitalizing someone's career and giving them an opportunity to go and do something. Again, Roman Reigns is the best example. He was still going to get pushed down our throats regardless, even if they kept him as a face and he still was being awful. Yeah. We were still going to keep seeing him in the championship picture and main stuff. Like, it was just going to keep coming around. But that might be one of the greatest examples of all time. I don't even, and I think about it, I can't believe 3-4 years ago I was looking at this same guy being like, oh my God, he sucks on mic. Don't let him talk. Please don't let him talk. And now I'm over here being like, give me more Roman Reigns. Oh my God, did I just say I want more Roman Reigns on my TV? Look what it, and Hogan again is a part of that too. The reason Hogan, because again, for those who don't know, Hogan was super iffy on being the third man in the NWO. And the decision going into that day on the pay-per-view, management was thinking that they were going to have Sting do it because Hogan was not about it. He did not have faith in it. He was not going to turn heel. He didn't want to do it. But he recognized the changing of the tide and the changing of the guard and what he needed to do. And he was like, my career and my character and my direction needs a shot in the arm. I'm turning heel. But then again, he comes to WWF. How awesome was it for everyone? You talked about it last week when we did our draft ad, even though my team was better than yours. You mentioned Rock and Hogan, WrestleMania 18?
Yeah.
Hogan's the heel, Rock's the face. But after 5 seconds in that match, everybody's like, oh, okay, everybody's going to cheer Hogan. Everybody wants Hogan. And then what happens? They do the thing. Next night, he's back in the red and yellow. Everybody eventually goes back to face because that's what is the better long-term option. But heel turns are what revitalize a career and can change you for the better, in my opinion.
You couldn't have said it any better. I can't top that. I can't really add anything to it. You've said everything that there is to say about it, and you're absolutely right. whilst you were talking there, I was trying to think of examples for everything you're saying. John Cena is a very, very good example um, of the face line. Like you were literally describing John Cena, the charity stuff, the media appearances, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to talk longevity, John
And he
Cena,
also started as a heel,
he started as heel,
and then
yeah.
they made him a face. Same thing with, I know Shawn Michaels was with the Rockers, but his singles career started out with him being a heel and being a jerk. And then it was eventually like, okay, cool. Now we're going to bring you up and transition into a baby face. And I also think that's part of, at least, well, I mean, WWE is an American company, at least in like America, but I think like movies and TV shows do this too. But in America, everybody loves an underdog. They love a redemption story. They love something like that. And I think heels turning face are an example of that. Like everybody loves to see the bad guy that all of a sudden is just like, wait a minute, this isn't right. And then it's like, oh my God, does that bad guy have a heart? Oh, he's starting. Is he got some sign? Like, think about like the certain characters that like the Punisher, how everybody loves the Punisher, and certain characters like that are like the bad guy who's like a killer, but also has like a moral code and like principles and ethics. Like people love that guy. So people want to see those redeeming qualities come from someone who eventually follows that redemption path and that arc, and to see like a heel eventually turn face. Again, I think that's also part of like the momentum of why that's like better for longevity in your career, because it allows people to connect with that character, see the journey that they went on as a character and as a person, and being like, oh, this guy used to be a prick, and now look at, he's a nice guy and he gives his t-shirt to kids in the crowd. Oh, I like this guy. I'm going to cheer for this guy.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think the pops as well for either turn are just as big
Mm,
um, for both sides. I think like I said at the very start, I'm very biased towards heels because
yes.
I've always preferred heels. So a heel pop will always be like more enjoyable to me. Like as soon as like I know you see it all the time now, but a tag team partner turns
Ah,
on their buddy, or just so like I'm not that really into Apollo. I'm interested now, but
mm.
I wasn't. So when he attacked Big E, I was just like, this is pretty cool, but meh.
Babyface pops to me are better though. Like seeing Stone Cold run down to save Team WWF against the
Oh
Alliance
yes,
is
yes.
amazing, and seeing those I like the shock and the awe that comes from a heel. Like heel pops are cool, but they're different than babyface pops, and babyface pops are still the best to me, especially when like a good guy is coming in to make a save, or the good guy is like gonna overcome the odds and win the match and do something. Like those babyface pops, like, oh yeah, that Austin saving Team WWF is still my
That's my
favorite.
favorite.
Or
Yeah.
the unexpected ones in a match, like when Bret Hart beats Flair for his first WWF championship. Nobody's expecting that, and Flair taps out to the sharpshooter, and the pop from the crowd is, oh, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. It's just like, what? Oh, and everybody erupts. Like, yeah, those babyface pops are pretty. Or thinking, oh, the Legion of Doom entrance. I think when they come out on the bikes, I think it's SummerSlam. Hawk is super high and has no idea where he is, but they come out on the motorcycles, and the pop from the crowd. Oh, I think it's at Wembley. I think it's the same SummerSlam where. Oh, dude, that's even another one too. I don't even know about that. The pop that friggin' British Bulldog gets when he comes out at Wembley to face Bret Hart at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title in the main event. Oh my God, his music hits and the crowd just loses their mind. Like, babyface pops are pretty cool, but I would always prefer
Yeah.
heel. It's
I'm,
also more fun to be a heel. I feel like, and I hear wrestlers say that too. You get like more freedom to kind of like do what you want, because with a heat with edge, when you're a face, you have to like live by certain like guidelines and codes. And if you're a heel, you can kind of just like do whatever the hell you want, because your job is to make people hate you.
I feel like if I got into wrestling, I would be a heel because I feel there's a bit unless you're naturally a bit of a dick. Like it's easier to play a character than play yourself in
Mm.
that situation. I feel so. I can put on a persona. I can be a prick if I
Well,
have
you
to
are.
be. I there you go. It works. It's believable.
Yep. That's
But to be a nice guy and all that, like I would struggle to pull that off, especially the scripts that you get given with WWE. Maybe somewhere a little bit more free that'd be a little bit different. But yeah, definitely heel all the way. I'd be a lifetime heel. Couldn't convince me otherwise because I'm a dick.
I would completely agree with that. I can't stand you.
But yeah, here you are. Here you are.
I mean, I'm just here because of. Well, I don't know why I'm here. Speaking of, goodbye. No, just... Hello.
That comes later. That comes later.
What was that?
But we do have some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Before we move on to our favorite celeb cameos in wrestling, it has now been revealed.
Am I gonna hate it or am I gonna like it?
I'm very underwhelmed.
Okay.
You might. Honestly, I couldn't name a match that this guy's been in, but I think you're more well traveled as a fan than I am.
I'm on pins and needles.
You ready?
Yeah, I don't think so. Tell me.
Ethan Page.
Okay. I told you. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, part of me is glad that they didn't go with an old WWE guy, which has been floating around all week.
I've just never seen. I don't know. I don't watch enough because I think he's one half of the North. I think, right? Oh yeah, I'm right. Yeah, he's one half of the North. The tag team champions in Impact. And I hear really good things about them, but I don't watch Impact enough to know about the North, and I know of Ethan Page, but I haven't seen. I like his partner Josh Alexander actually more than Ethan Page, but I don't really have an opinion either way because I haven't seen enough of him. I know of him, and I know the rep that the North has as a tag team. Again, I hear great things, and I know they're the Impact champions at the moment. Well, I know they're not. Because what's their face are Anderson and Gallows, but cool.
I mean, I'm assuming that is the signing. He's gone into the TNT contender ladder match.
I guess good.
That is a mystery debut, so I'm assuming that is it.
But anyway, I thought it was supposed to be
Hall of Fame work.
Yeah, or something. I don't know. I guess. Wait, no.
So.
No. Are you sure that's what? I'm reading something else.
What are you reading? Oh, Ethan Page was the second surprise.
Yeah.
Meltzer put here. So who's the first?
Do you not know? What I'm reading is something I think you would like. Can I say it?
Yeah, go for it.
It's Christian.
What?
Yeah, I knew you'd like it. Yeah.
What?
Christian Cage. Yeah, because people are tweeting out like Christian comes back at Royal Rumble after we thought his career ends in amazing shape and then signed to the AEW. Damn, what a turn of events. Damn, I feel like Vince is going to be pissed at that one.
Oh, there you go. That was 2 minutes ago. So that's just been revealed, I take it.
Yeah.
Instant classic Christian Cage. Oh my days.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Cage and Page.
That's very interesting.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Vince is gonna be fucking fuming.
Because he just had him at the Rumble. He just brought him back.
And in the space of what, 2 weeks? Well, it's space of a week, isn't it? Big Show and Christian.
Damn.
Well, not lifers, but
close. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, he welcomed
to.
Christian back after TNA, and he just brought him back at the Rumble, and people were thinking like, oh, okay, like he's gonna have a little bit of a run now. And that's why I knew as soon as I read it, I was like, for me, I'm like, okay, that's cool, but it wasn't. I knew once I told you, I was like, oh, he's gonna be pumped. Look at the smile on your face. You're so happy.
It's better than Ethan Page.
A little bit, yeah. No disrespect to Ethan Page. I've heard good things. I just haven't seen enough.
I don't know anything. I couldn't name a match. Like I
The
said,
only thing I know is that he's part of the North, and the North is like supposed to be this awesome tag team, but I haven't really seen him.
I'd be interested to see what the conversations between Edge and Christian were, because you know for a fact that Edge would have known this.
Well, yeah, probably.
I just find yeah, it's just crazy the fact he was back at the Rumble. He had a post Rumble interview where there was like are we getting more out of you, and he was very vague. So this is interesting.
I just like the gamesmanship between the two companies, and like I just like wondering if Vince is like, son of a bitch. I'm sure he doesn't care because like it's not going to really matter to him, but I especially for him to like put over a legend, especially like they love to do that in the Rumble, and to take somebody and put him over in the Rumble, and like he had a pretty cool moment with Edge, and to bring that back and do that, and then within like 2-3 weeks he's at AEW. That's funny to me.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what he does.
And I wonder if Vince is pissed at Edge because like, and that what that makes me think of? That makes me think of because like so on SmackDown, right? Daniel Bryan won that cage match, which means it's a triple threat now, right?
Yeah.
That makes me right.
No, he goes to Fastlane to face Roman Reigns for the title.
Oh, okay.
So could replace Reigns if he wins.
Oh, okay. So never mind then. I was thinking at the last minute, like Vince heard, like on Thursday, that like Christian was going to sign with AEW, and then was like, Edge, did you know? And Edge was like, yeah, but I mean, he's my friend. He can do like whatever he wants. And Vince is like, oh, okay. And then immediately goes back to rewrite the script, and it's like, Edge is out. I'm changing everything.
That's nuts. That's actually I know he's one of the names that has been floating around all week, but that's genuinely surprised me. I thought it's the Rumble that threw me on that kind of way. We go, nah, not a chance.
Just the recency of it. Like if it had happened without his Rumble appearance, I would have been like, oh, okay, cool. Like it is what it is. But the fact that he was just on the Rumble. Well, in the Rumble, on the pay-per-view, whatever verbiage you want to go with there. Yeah. Oh, man, you're pretty taken aback. Look at your face. That's pretty crazy.
I know.
I thought you were going to see it. I thought it was going to eventually pop up, and then I saw that you were still looking at me, and I was like, okay, I'll tell you.
It's because I've had obviously the Twitter feed up, and it's like the what's happening page, so all the trending stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, wrestling's trending now just naturally because Revolution's on. And Ethan Page trended, but whilst we've been speaking, not one point did it say Christian Cage. And then obviously I've looked into it, and there he is. Unbelievable.
Somebody posted this company is slowly becoming all elderly wrestling.
I mean, they're not wrong.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Have we got you back?
Yep, I'm back. You lagged for a minute, and then I went out, and now I'm back. There it is. Man, the impact of Christian debuting in AEW has sent an electrical surge through our devices that has resulted in technical difficulties for a brief moment. Oh, man.
Yeah, and now your video's gone all weird as well. Unbelievable.
Thanks a lot, Christian.
Yeah, Christian.
Thanks a lot, Christian. Am I back now? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Thanks a lot, Christian. Stupid Christian. Stupid excitement. Messing up all our stuff. What a debut. Oh, we got to break it live.
I know.
Oh, man.
I know. I'm
excited. I can't, you're like at a loss for words. That's pretty cool.
I'm excited. I got excited when he came back at the Rumble, so this is even cooler. Yeah, I'd say actually it is, because this means we're going to get him in ring often, I would say, given the chance.
Do we know what Edge's contract is with WWE? Like his return one now?
I'm sure I read it was like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, okay. Damn, I was hoping it was going to be like shorter. And I was going to be like, oh, do we get Edge in AEW? Oh.
I think we nearly did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there was conversations going on about getting Edge over there, and obviously the outcome is he went to WWE, but I don't know the ins and outs.
That would have been
of
cool.
what the talks were like. But that would have been interesting.
Mm.
He gets his WrestleMania pop, and then a few weeks later goes to AEW.
That would be wild. Oof. Oof. You're like a kid on Christmas. You're so excited for Christmas. That's awesome.
Yeah, I could talk about this for ages, but we're not going to. We do have other things to talk about, and I'm actually wary that this this video might just die, because that's the second glitch we've had, which is sadness.
Jinxed.
But we roll with the punches. We're bros here. We
are pros.
We deal with these things as they come. I feel that this is going to be a quick one based on your reaction at the top of the episode. You didn't seem very pumped at the prospect of celebrity cameos in wrestling.
I've got one that is my hands-on favorite. But continue.
Yeah, on that basis, I'm going to throw to you first. What are your thoughts on celebrity cameos first and foremost, and then what is your favorite?
It depends. I don't like. I know who Bad Bunny is. We'll just go with that, like, most recent one, like, right? Like, I know who Bad Bunny is. I've known him for, like, years. My wife is Dominican, so I listen to a lot of Bad Bunny and, like, that kind of music. So I know who he is. And I think it's awesome, the respect that he has for wrestling. And I think he's doing, like, he's not wrestling, but, like, as good of a job as he can do. And I think it's cool. I still don't like it. I think it's hokey and gimmicky. And that's nothing against him or the idea of it. I just don't really. I just feel like it takes something away because they can't do so much. Like, they're limited. I'm usually not a fan of them. My favorite one, if I had to go with one, would just be Bam Bam Bigelow and Lawrence Taylor from WrestleMania 11. Because when I was little, I was like, I obviously loved wrestling and I loved football. And I was like, oh my God, like, there's a football player wrestling at WrestleMania? This is like the two greatest things in the world. Like, the only thing that would have been better was if, like, Bret Hart was playing in the Super Bowl. Like, that would have been, like, the coolest thing ever as a little kid to me. So that's my favorite one. But yeah, I just don't, because they are limited. You know, they can't do, like, that's why I thought what Pat McAfee did was so awesome. Like, he was doing legitimate in-ring stuff, and he had a program, and there was direction, and he put the effort in, and there was, like, long-term booking to it. So I thought that was awesome. But I just generally, like, I don't know, just take, like, Celebrity X and throw them at, even, like, Shaq, like, all props to him for taking that bump from Cody and going through a table. Awesome that he did that. But, like, I don't know, am I really excited to see, was I excited to see that match? No, not at all, because I know Shaq can't do, and that's not a knock against him, because, again, I feel like people don't realize that professional wrestlers, like, it's an art and it's a sport and it's a craft, and they practice it for years and years and years in order to get to the level that they're at. So just taking somebody and letting them play around in a ring for a month, they're nowhere near up to snuff to do the things in the ring needed to, I think, get the job done at that level. So I'm cool with it for what it is, and just, you know, like, oh, that's cool. But is it something, like, I look forward to? No. And it's not something I really like. I'm not against it, but it's not something that gets me, like, excited. Again, the Shaq thing, when he went through the table, I was like, oh, that's awesome. But going into it, I wasn't one of those people like, yo, like, Shaq's going to be on Dynamite. Oh, this is awesome. Or like, oh, Bad Bunny's going to be on Raw. Count me in. No, like, it's the same thing with the Stephen Amell angle from all those years ago. Although props to him, he did some cool spots. Because you also, too, you know, again, the Pat McAfee one is such the outlier, but you also know that, like, it's just for a certain time and it's going to be short-lived. Like, you know, like, Bad Bunny's going to be gone soon. Like, you know, Shaq was on this Dynamite. He's probably never going to be on Dynamite again. Or if he is, it'll be like months or years down the road. You know, it's not going to be like a program. That's why, again, the Pat McAfee thing was even cooler, because it was a main storyline and it went for months and months and involved top-notch, top-tier wrestlers and was a big deal. Like, Pat McAfee is the outlier and just a complete different thing. But again, yeah, you just know that it's going to be like Like, Bad Bunny's not going to come out here and give you like an awesome match with like Drew McIntyre or something like that. And you also know that he's not going to be around in July or even June or August. Like, you just know that it's like, okay, they just threw this guy in here for some extra eyes for WrestleMania season. Okay, cool. I guess that's my long roundabout answer of saying, meh.
I share your thoughts. I think it's way too gimmicky. I think it's corny. 99% of the time I hate how they introduce celebrities into the equation. I mean, I would look back at when Raw was doing guest hosts or guest GMs, whatever it was, and you had like Hugh Jackman one week, and then I think Steve-O rocked up another. It's just like, really.
Oh, remember when Jeremy Piven from Entourage hosted, and he was talking about SummerSlam? That's where the whole like Summerfest joke came about because he didn't say SummerSlam, he said Summerfest, and I was like, great, that's cool. Just mess up one of the big four. That's fine.
I'm not a fan. But sometimes it does work. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it was very enjoyable. Mike Tyson with Austin.
That's a cool one.
That was very good.
That to me was different because he was just like a piece onto it. He wasn't like, he was just supposed to be the special enforcer. Like, that was fine. So like I would agree with you on that. To me, I didn't include him because he wasn't in like a long going thing or in matches or anything like that. So I didn't count him, but I would agree with you. That would be my favorite. That would be awesome.
Yeah. And one that unexpectedly I quite liked was Jon Stewart with the whole Cena and Seth Rollins thing. I don't know why I liked it, but I just did. I know Stewart's a very, very big fan of wrestling, so I think that's why he kind of gets a pass. This is the thing with celebrities that are fans of wrestling.
It's different.
They do get a little bit of a pass. Like Bad Bunny, we know how big of a fan he is.
Yeah, I remember seeing. I forget what video it was. It was like, I think like at the earliest, like 2 years ago, when I was sure it was like 3 or 4, when I saw Ric Flair in like a Bad Bunny video, and I thought that was like the coolest thing. I was like, oh my god! I remember talking to one of my boys. I was like, yo, like Bad Bunny got Ric Flair to be in one of his videos. He's like, yeah, dude, like he loves wrestling and like he's a huge fan. And yeah, I thought that was like the coolest thing in the world.
And he just dropped that Booker T track. Like, he's
good for him.
I don't think he could. I don't think he should shout out his wrestling fandom any more than he has.
No, that's awesome.
But I think it sings differently to me with celebs that are actually genuinely interested in the product. So the Jon Stewart thing I quite enjoyed. But my absolute favorite celebrity cameo is Machine Gun Kelly, just purely for the fact that he got powerbombed by Kevin Owens through a table.
Props to him for taking the bump.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't really personally like Machine Gun Kelly, but seeing him take a powerbomb from Kevin Owens was an enjoyable sight. So for him, he gets my nod as favorite.
Forgot about that. That was a good one.
I replay that often in my mind.
That was a good one. Yeah, my favorite Tyson was. It
was a flunky powerbomb as well.
Yeah, but Tyson was my favorite as far as somebody who was involved in a match. Lawrence Taylor, not because the match was terrible and it was bad, but just for the nostalgia factor of like little me, that was cool. But yeah, same page, not just meh. No, okay, yeah, but why? But all right, I guess. But really, that's my thoughts.
And then we go into the final segment of the show, and it's a big one. It's a big one. Bobby Lashley finally winning the WWE Championship this week on Raw, defeating The Miz. Shock horror. Well deserved. I would actually say it's been well deserved. I've enjoyed the Hurt Business angle since it first started, and I think it's only grown. I did get a bit worried a few weeks ago when they were teasing a bit of dissension between Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. But they seem to have moved past that, and now they're a cohesive unit once again, with Bobby Lashley sitting so proudly on top, holding that title. I mean, I'm not the biggest Bobby Lashley guy in the world, but he has been very, very good as this powerhouse fucking destructive heel. Like you've kind of forgotten about this whole Lana Rusev thing now. That's how well he's done, and that was bad.
Yeah, and him like wasn't like Leo Rush just like pointing to his butt or stuff? Weren't they? Doesn't that like a thing too?
Yeah, Leo Rush. Yeah, I forgot that he was even
Like what?
Yeah. So all that distant memory. You know, he's. I think he's fully earned the right to be a WWE champion right now, and it's different. It's different. Like the fact that he's never been a champion before. Well, he has been champion, but not WWE champion. And the fact that people stuck around with the. I mean, I don't really look too much into ratings, but it is a big deal when you look at Raw. I can't remember if they said it was 2021 ratings or over the last year or two, whatever it was, whatever the statistic was. It was. There's usually. So you get your post pay-per-view like high for ratings naturally because you just want to see what happens the next time. But what they were saying with Raw is that following week it drops. But this week they managed to hold it pretty damn close, if not the same, I think it was. But not only that, during the actual show itself, so they had a lot of bait and switches throughout the show, like Miz was running off and all that kind of stuff. And usually you get that natural drop between hour 1 and 3 anyway, but it was nowhere near as bad as it usually is. In fact, it was very, very slight. So maybe that's the Bobby Lashley effect. Maybe this is what we need to kind of steer things in the right direction. Don't get me wrong, like there was a lot of Raw that was terrible, but the fact that Bobby Lashley is now headlining it interests me, and I'm all for it. And especially with the Hurt Business, because Hurt Business, you could argue, are probably one of the better factions in wrestling right now. Which is unexpected, because, I mean, look at Shelton Benjamin. He's great, and was great, but was kind of like stuck in obscurity for a very long time. And then MVP comes along, plucks him out. He's a great tag team champion. He's a great hand. And Cedric Alexander's been given a new lease of life. Lease on life. Which is lease on life.
Lease of life.
So it's just a very, very enjoyable angle. I'm here for it. I'm now curious to see what they're going to do with Fastlane coming up, and obviously into Mania. Drew McIntyre is going to figure into this somehow because of the nature of how he lost the belt in the first place. But I'm curious to see will it just be a straight up Lashley McIntyre, or is the Miz going to get back in there? I hope not. I don't know. I'm interested to see where this goes, and I hate to go off on a tangent, but we do anyway. I like we mentioned a couple of weeks ago about the Miz and how pointless the Money in the Bank thing is, and then he won the title. No, he gave a really good promo the week before because I DM'd you and said, "Oh,
I know, right?
Typical. We just said all this stuff," and he comes and does that. Then he won the title. I was like, "Well, here we go." And then this week just proved that the whole Money in the Bank thing was a waste of time, and we were right in the first place. Go figure.
Who would have thought?
Go figure. Who would have thought? But what are your thoughts on the Bobby Lashley win this week?
I didn't know that was his first like WWE championship. And same thing, not like a title. I mean like the title. I didn't know that was his first time. So
he won the ECW
yes,
title.
I knew that. But yeah, good for him. I'm not a Bobby Lashley fan. He doesn't really do anything for me, although I do think that time, I think it was in ECW. I hate even saying ECW because it's disrespectful to the original one. In WWECW, when he like jumped through the cage, like I think it was against Umaga, right? Didn't he like jump through the cell, like knock one of the cell wall doors down of a cage? Like he like jumped through.
I have an image in my head.
Like he literally like I think the dude is on the outside and he like can't get to him, so he like runs and like hits the ropes and come and just shoulder charges the cage door and knocks the whole thing out. It's awesome.
I'll have to look that up.
It's awesome. I'm pretty sure it's him. He doesn't really do anything for me, especially when he gets on the mic, because he just doesn't have a good voice and his promos are awful. But he's in tremendous shape. He's an awesome athlete. And the Hurt Business, oh, man, you've seen so many people say it, like MVP is just such an awesome manager. And I know it came from him like getting hurt, But even like the way he's incorporated the cane into like his character just looks badass. And you've got these four dudes who, again, Shelton Benjamin may be older, but he's a phenomenal wrestler. Cedric Alexander is tremendously underrated. Bobby Lashley is an awesome athlete. And I was starting to say athlete before I got the Lashley part out. Bobby Lashley is an
Bobby Ashley.
Bobby Ashley. He's an awesome lathlete. Bobby Lashley is an awesome athlete. The four of them combined are in tremendous shape, have a great look, and then you add the suits on top of it and the professionalism, but the meanness and the nastiness. It's a cool stable. It's a cool gimmick. It's a cool look. I'm down for it. And I think MVP is done. It just adds so much. Even just when like you, and I feel bad saying it because I don't want to like rain on the parade, but even when you would just hear Bobby Lashley be like, "Come on, Miz, like I want my shot," and I would just be like, "Shut up. Stop talking." But then like MVP would speak for him, and then you got Bobby being like all wide-eyed and jacked, like he just worked out for the 9,000th hour in a row because he's a monster man. Like I was really happy for him. The night was cool. I don't know why I think I was doing film breakdowns for the NFL draft that's coming up, so I was doing that, and I had Raw on for a pretty large majority of the night. And I kept seeing all the different things, and I really kept thinking they were going to swerve us. I was like, we're not going to get the match. We're not going to get the match. He's going to keep ducking it. He's going to find a way out. And then the match happened, and I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe they really just let Bobby Lashley just squash the hell out of him and win the belt. Like, yeah, good for him. I'm in the same boat now. I'm interested to see where it goes because the Hurt Business is cool. And with MVP at the helm and as the mouthpiece for Lashley, this could have some legs to it. Again, he's a tremendous athlete. He's a tremendous Lashley. Lashley? Lashley. I like Lashley. That's better. He's like fun to watch. He's explosive and allowing MVP to kind of like chart and steer his ship a little bit could be something that could really work wonders for him. And I'm interested to see, what happens. Because obviously McIntyre is going to get a rematch. He has a gripe because he got screwed out of the belt. And what does that look like? Who does Lashley feud with? Are the Hurt Business faces? Are they heels? Are they tweeners? Do they have no affiliation? Do they just do whatever the hell they want? And yeah, again, it's a really awesome journey because I think last year at this time, or however long it was, he was doing that stupid Lana angle, and he was having Leo Rush point to his butt or whatever the hell was going on there, and it just sucked, and it just did not feel. And even before that, the last thing I'm remembering is I think when Brock was champ or Braun was champ, there was some stretch where like Roman Reigns I think lost and Lashley was like going to be the number one contender for the title, and then for some reason Roman Reigns was like, "No, I want a rematch." So they did like Lashley versus Reigns for the right to challenge Brock or something at like Fastlane or some pay-per-view like that, and Reigns ended up beating Lashley, and I was just like, dude, like this doesn't even make any sense, and Lashley could have gotten a run, and I felt bad for him then, and then he went from that to the Leo Rush thing to the Lana thing, and then even with the Hurt Business, I was like, well, we'll see what happens, but I mean, it's Bobby Lashley, and they don't do anything good for him, but good for him. He's got the belt. He was super appreciative of it. You saw him like celebrating, not even in character. You saw that he was just like genuinely like happy. Like that was just a happy man to be champion, like, which was really heartwarming and cool to see. So I hope he has a good run. The Hurt Business is going strong. It was enough to make me care, especially considering I don't like The Miz as a wrestler. Bobby Lashley doesn't really do much for me, although I do think he's a very impressive physical specimen and tremendous athlete. But I was definitely like tuned in to be like, okay, is he going to fight him? And then I was like, oh crap, he won, and I was kind of happy.
Curious to see where this goes. We could be. Here's a good segue because we like segues. He could be on the night that we watched together at WrestleMania this year.
Could be. Hopefully, he's not facing that scrub Drew McIntyre. I don't want to watch that.
I mean, we're going to plug this every week until it goes down. We are going to be doing a live watch along of WrestleMania together on one of the nights. We haven't decided yet. Whichever night has the better card, essentially, is the one that we'll go with.
So whichever one doesn't have Drew McIntyre. And hopefully Edge.
Or Shane. Whichever night doesn't have Shane versus Braun.
Oh, God.
which is potentially what is going to go down.
I would watch that if Braun got to like throw Shane off of like the Titantron or off of the
or the
cell.
pirate ship.
Oh yeah. I mean, pirates are dumb though. Anything nautical themed is just stupid.
Like the Dow pod.
Like us.
Like us.
Ahoy.
Okay, maybe we will watch Shane Braun. Maybe we will do that.
I mean, whatever. But again, to your point, we are excited to have that like leeway and that freedom to be like night 1, night 2. Which do we want to do? And also this, despite the fact that neither of us are a fan of really the splitting it up. But it's nice to know that we won't have to live stream like 9 hours.
That's right. Yeah, it has worked for us. It has worked. In fact, actually, I don't think they
confirmed 2 nights.
I don't think. Well, last year I don't think they had the match cards separated.
I thought that. I don't. Oh, they did it like last minute.
I think so.
I know it was 2 nights.
It was definitely 2 nights, but I can't remember if they gone right. So this is what's night 1. This is what's night 2. I can't remember.
They will by the time of.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
That'll be a thing.
Because it'd just be nice
to
know when we're. I mean, we'll be watching it regardless, but.
Interesting. Yeah.
And we potentially have somebody who will join us for a match as well. Friend of the show,
Kazuchika Okada.
Jerry Springer. ANT Won't Stop will be popping by potentially for
rap battle.
A watch along of for a rap battle for one of the matches. So yeah, that'll be fun. He's been on the show a couple of times, taking part in 2 drafts one draft that and
Captain's Cabin.
Oh, he did a Captain's Cabin, yeah, the quiz show that we had. So yeah, friend of the show. So he'll be popping by. Bearing in mind that, but just so you know, this is all happening on Twitch. It's not happening. It's live. We're going live.
Going live
on Twitch. Yeah, so I'm very, 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 very much looking forward to that. But that's really all I have to plug. Even though it's like a plug for the show. But you can find me, no, that's the wrong hand, that one there, at Project Dits, across all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and then take the @ away, and you'll find me on Twitch and YouTube as well. So that's all I have to plug.
There you go.
Anthony, over to you.
Find me on Twitter at pro__ant. That's pro 2 underscores ANT. I'm assuming do I have it under me somewhere? Do I need to point somewhere as to where that is?
Your left hand.
This one?
Boom, there it is.
Oh, really? Is it right there?
Oof.
There you go. That's all right. You can find me on Twitter at that. Talking wrestling, doing foolishness on Twitter, and then also promoting my own podcast that I do titled Disguise Coverage, part of the Cover One Sports Network, breaking down anything and everything pertaining to the Buffalo Bills of the NFL and just breaking down the X's and O's of the NFL and some different things like that. And I'm always on the old Twitters, and find me here every week on the Dow Pod, just being stupid with green screen man over here. That's him. Look at him wave. I'm so happy that I guesstimated after watching like our episodes back on video and then like seeing where I thought the Twitter handle was going to be, and so I just guesstimated. I couldn't remember if it was right or left, but I knew the spacing, so I'm very pleased that I got it right.
Well, you'll have to raise your hand a little bit further up to get it bang on. More. There you go. Oh, too far. You shot through. There, bang. Perfect.
Yay!
Bing.
Right over the Intercontinental title.
So, yeah, as long as your camera does not move between now and next week, that's where you need to put your finger.
All right, so I won't move it. And then I can easily landmark it by being like, I just might have to get my finger to the Intercontinental title that's on my shelf.
There you go.
Fair enough. Bang on. I like it.
But yeah, that's us for the week. We will, of course, be back next week for more chat. We'll probably talk a bit about AEW Revolution.
Yep. Maybe some Christian Cage.
I will actually try and plug the episode a bit more than I usually do. I always go, I'm going to post video clips throughout the week. I will do that a bit more. Highlight packages and all that good stuff, because it makes things a little bit more interesting for those that can't sit through a hour-plus podcast. So,
very true.
My setup is different at home now, so I'm able to do stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that. But Anthony, over to you, because I'm sure you have another insightful final thought.
Yeah. I'm gonna take off my glasses. Yeah, for my goodbye this week. Took off my glasses in just anticipation of. It's already starting to hit me here. The emotion that I've gotten this one. You know, as you guys know, these goodbyes are, sometimes they're really hard for me to do, and because again, we don't like to. This is a wrestling podcast, and we like to keep things like fun and like analytical and good takes in that. But at the end of the day, this is a very emotional part and piece of us that we put out there and that what we do. And so I like to, I like to make sure these goodbyes capture that, and so that this goodbye is in the spirit of that. And please bear with me. Sorry. Okay. Goodbye.